Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson and Conrad Venter here for round number 11 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series. This is Season 2 in the McLaren Honda MP430. We're at Zandvoort. We just about made it in time for the race. Obviously the Grand Prix just finished as well due to a couple of virtual safety cars and the safety car at the start of the race, so reached the 2-hour limit just. Should be a good race here today. Not so many people turned up for this, a few. We haven't got a split, so it's going to be interesting to see this field. Definitely a mixed a mixed grid from what we normally see out there. So it should be fun to see who does what and some new faces into it. So week number 11, of course. I'm going to take a quick look at see who's doing what in regards to the championship standings. Conrad will be along in just a moment. But we're firmly into the position of the championship now, where we're into drop weeks, so everybody just trying to improve on their best round. And we saw last weekend there was a couple of people jumped up in and around the table. So it'd be good to see who needs what. I mean, I have to say, I think because this is only a single split race, I can't see there being many points up for grabs. I'll have to look, see what the SOF is afterwards. So maybe the likes of Yatsenko will hold on to his championship lead. It's only by 12 points at the moment over Diego Oliveira. Now Diego and Yatsenko aren't in this race. So they've not made it to the grid. Daniel Wenson he's about 30, oh no he's not, he's 46 points behind at the moment. He just jumped Massimiliano Ficarra last week to take third place, and Ficarra now in fourth. All those drivers on the sort of 1600 point range and still all very much in with a shout. Giuseppe Ragusa is 5th place, 1563 points, just ahead of his teammate Fabrizio Gobbi. And then you've got Zoran Jonic, who's on 1390 but has a pretty lousy drop. So he should be able to move himself forward a little bit, but this race is not what we want. Hopefully there'll be a split race later on this afternoon. Ruslan Sabatov is 8th, David Martinez is 9th, and Victor Rodriguez rounds out your top 10 in the championship. Few people trying to work their way into that top 10 as well, so we'll keep an eye and see how they do. But all in all, Conrad, welcome, you're back as well. Championship looking exciting. It's very hard for us to know what's going to be a good result for drivers and what's not, because obviously it's all about the drop weeks, and unless we sit here and find out exactly what the minimums everybody's got are, it's tough to know.
Yeah, true. And I heard you mention strength of field only a single split. Strength of field for this race is around about 3,000, so it's not too bad. But yeah, this track hasn't been great for participation this week. I had a little look earlier on, and I think this is only the 4th race this week to go official.
There's a lot of call for for this circuit to be added on there, but when it all settles down, no one drives it. So
I wonder how much of that is down to a bit of nostalgia, and then I see in a lot of different series this track always gets a lot of votes, but participation's always down on it. Yeah. Seems the people who vote for it don't actually drive it.
Yeah, the vocal are the minority rather than the people who race the series, who actually sort of stay fairly quiet. So from a community point of view, if you want a circuit on the series, or you don't want a circuit on the series, then speak up in those threads that get put up by Tony, because I try and take some votes and things like that into account and put in there some different tracks, and there's a good mixture next season as well. So if you don't want to race on circuits like this, then you need to give out some alternatives.
Yeah, right. Saying that, it's at least we've got an 18-car field here, and I think this is about the widest spread in an iRating that I can remember us covering on one of these live streams. I think the number 18 car's got an iRating of about just over 1,000, and then we've got Daniel Vensing. Ficarra's got over 5,000. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to say the least.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Zandvoort though, just to bring it back to the track, because it is a great circuit to lap on if you're on your own. I think where the issue lies with this circuit and the Formula One cars is that it's just a bit short, and DRS really not going to have much of an impact. We've got 2 DRS zones, the one going into turn 1, and then of course we have the other one which is heading in towards the chicane. I'll be honest, that's so short. By the time you've got it opened, you're closing it again, so they might as well have not bothered with that one.
Yeah, it's a very busy track as well. I mean, like I say, the that first DRS zone is not very long, and it's a lot of corners, and yeah, the straights aren't very long, so you're always working. And I think a few guys are going to find it very tough today.
Just taking a quick look at the track there and the weather and everything else like that. It seemed pretty reasonable conditions, so I'm expecting to see some people try and no-stop this one as well. Conrad, qualifying's just finished. Are you able to take us through that final grid?
Yeah, we've got Daniel Vensing on pole position with a 1 minute 13.6. Massimiliano Ficarra in second place. Ricardo Gozo in third. Vasily Zaitsev, the number 1 car, in fourth place. Zoran Janic in fifth. Ruslan Sabitov in sixth place. Then we've got Alicio Zoppi, Marcelo Mandea in eighth place. Ferenc Kern in ninth. Augusto in 10th place. Then we've got Bartolotta in 11th. Flores Bechar in 12th place. Toffoli in 13th. Domingo in 14th. Meccano in 15th. Flores de Wit in 16th place. Dennis Dupuy in 17th. And then we just had the one person not to qualify, is Mario Malone in 18th place.
That is going to be all important for everybody. This tight circuit going to make it ever so important.
And it's a good old long race as well today, 47 laps. And I think this might be one of the more demanding races of the season on the drivers.
Like a good start from everybody. A few people just squeezing up the inside. Looks like Ficarra got a bad getaway there. Wenstin trying to go around the outside. I think that was Jonic as well. He tucks in into third. He's still side by side with Zaitsev though as they go through the hairpin. I think Zaitsev's just going to get the jump coming out of the corner. He does indeed. But the front two just scampering away while the others fight just behind them.
Yeah, I mean, Ricardo Zorco started from third place. He had a brilliant getaway up into third and showing brilliant pace along with Daniel Vensing on this first lap.
Yeah, much like we just saw at Monaco, the important thing here is if you don't make a mistake and stay on the line, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to overtake. So be it the short little squirts in between the corner that we have here. So keep an eye on that. Although it looks like we're looking at Zoran and Ficarra just getting pretty close together through the first time through the chicane. They all seem to survive. The front two really are pushing away. Wenstin trying to put a little bit of pressure on further back. They're just fanning out. I think we've got Augusto. No, that's Kern, isn't it? Even further back. That was Kern and Toffoli just going side by side down the straight. Toffoli comes out on top of that one.
Yeah, Kern had a massive scare in the last corner, or second to last corner. Didn't quite make it. Ran up onto the gravel trap and back down again into the last corner. Almost sort of an oval line he took there. Apart from he didn't keep it on the tarmac. This is the thing. If you're going to make mistakes and let people through, getting past them is going to be a massive job.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I just think for myself, I look back at some of the World Championship races I've done here. Just consistency tends to out. Don't make any mistakes. Other people do. You pick up places, and they can't get back past you. So very, very difficult indeed. So don't need. If you can lap within a few tenths of a second, you're going to be able to give these guys something to worry about. Great start from Ricardo though, seems pretty confident out there right now, so doesn't mind having Wensin just tucked in 0.4 of a second back we saw there, and Daniel couldn't really close up this lap though. We'll see obviously whether or not the DRS is going to be truly effective or not.
Yeah, I think you're going to need the guy in front of you to make a mistake and out of a place like the last corner, and then get the run down into turn 1. Like I said, that DRS zone on the back straight is really not long enough to make any impact on the guy in front of you.
And you know what? That is a distinct possibility at this circuit as well. That last corner, there's a nasty little dip just as you're trying to go through it flat out. The old Williams FW. Oh, Ricardo! Oh, just looked like he had a little moment and then disappeared. So it must have just been a bit of lag or something there. But he reappeared back safe. Oh, he's having some connection problems though. He's dropping. Wensin. Oh, he's dropping even more. I think Wensin might just be handed the lead here. Nope, he's come back again. Surprise!
His internet is giving him a real scare at the moment.
We'll give him a bit of a breather actually as well as we go through that final corner. He's dropped again, but yeah, he might. If he's having some servo stink issues there, he might lose a lap. I don't know.
I think his guy is. Oh, I was just about to say, I think he's gone.
But yeah, so just talk about that final corner. There's a horrible, nasty little dip that you go through that one, flat out, of course, through there if you can. I'll be honest, in practice I was having a little cursey lift because it was so bad. It's so easy just to kick the rear end out as you go through that little sort of bump in the or dip in the circuit. And the old car just had the downforce just to deal with it. It was not a problem. This one is yeah, not quite as aggressive with the downforce, and you don't half notice it. So you can see if you put people under pressure in that final corner, I can see people making little mistakes there, and then you know, people being able to get this run.
And even on the first part, on the entry, so it's a sort of like a two-corner that turns into one. But second to last corner, people love running wide into the gravel out of it as well. So if you can constantly get that right and take advantage when people do struggle around there, then surely there's a chance. But we see these front two getting through there comfortably. Oh, Ficarra and Zaitsev into turn 1 next to each other. Looks like Ficarra's got that one done.
Trading Paints has a little update, so yeah, if you're wondering why all of a sudden it's changed, well, that's why.
I think if you get a replay up of that move that Ficarra just put on Zaitsev, I think that little depth that you were talking about will be evident, and Zaitsev driving just back and just stepping out a little bit mid-corner, and that gave Ficarra the opportunity to make that move into turn 1.
Yeah, let's just watch that again. So it was yeah, Ficarra, like we said a minute ago, was putting that pressure on him, which really meant that Zaitsev had to really give it some through there, and you can see just gets a little bit loose, not majorly, but it was enough, I think. And yeah, Ficarra just used the DRS there just to slip on by.
Yeah, like I said, it's just enough just to make you think a little bit, and maybe just a slight lift, and that's enough to to give you the pass.
Wensin getting close to, if we switch back to live, oh, we got very close, and then Ricardo dropped again, so there might be a bit of a difference in the gap. And now that Trading Paints has updated as well, Wensin showing in the old classic Marlboro McLaren livery out there as well. What a great great car that was back in the day. Looks quite nice on the modern F1 car as well.
Yeah, we've got a few different liveries running here today. I think I saw a Red Bull a little bit further back, which looks quite nice as well. And then, of course, we've got quite a few Apex Racing Academy skins in there as well.
Having a look at Ruslan Sabatov, he is getting particularly close to the back of Zoppi here. So, what I say that he just drops back a little bit through the S's section, and pops open his DRS, like I say, and that's pretty much all you get there, and closed again. So very, very small DRS zone. I think you use it just because, you know, you can gain some free time, thousandths, couple of thousandths, something like that, maybe 100th if you're lucky. Also another nice little group of 3 cars here as well. You've got Domingo. I don't know what happened to him, but he's way down considering where he's been in recent weeks. Struggling somewhat, and his teammates just tucked up behind him. I say it's his teammate. I think they're just similar coloured cars, not the same livery. And then you've got Ferenc Kern behind him as well. Kern just poking his nose out just to let Defoli know that he is there, and he's going to try something in a bit. Just needs to time this right. Wensing close again. Ficarra. I tell you what, Ficarra's got some pace as well. Check out the last lap time from Ficarra, 1:15.9 against sort of 1:16s of the drivers ahead. So you have to feel like Wensing probably being held up a little bit now, and Ficarra is the man on the move. Going to try and put a little bit of pressure on Daniel if he can. He needs this. He needs to beat Daniel in this race. There might be enough points ahead that improves his worst points finish. And he's only a few points behind Wensing in the championship.
Yeah, we've seen Ricardo suffering connection issues, and it's not finished just yet. I wonder if that's just not putting off Wensing a little bit and costing him a bit of time as well.
Doran closing on the back of Vasily right now as well. Just I think he'll be coming under a little bit of threat. The last lap there was 2 seconds difference between them, so I'm guessing Zaitsev had some sort of problem that we don't know about.
It really is a track where it's so easy just to make a small mistake and it costs you a whole bunch of time. It's something I saw in the Formula Renaults as well early in the season. There's a couple of places that chicane, third to last corner, that catches a lot of people. Even this corner coming onto the back straight, it's so easy just to get on the power a little bit too early and the back end coming around on you. And I think it's something, once the tires start going off a little bit later on, that's something we'll see quite a bit of.
Having a little look back through the grid right now. Marcello closing in on the back of Massimiliano here. Surely this time we'll get a run. Carlotta there does get a little bit of DRS as well, just inside the zone, so that's probably going to save him this time. But he runs ever so deep. Surely an opportunity for a move. Nothing quite happening for Marcello.
You saw Bortolotti running really wide out of the last corner as well. I wonder if that's just an alternative line to running that tight line around the curb and avoiding that little
of the camber through there, but I think that was just a little too wide. You can afford to run sort of a car's width off. That seems to be quite a reasonable line when you don't lose an awful lot of time or anything like there, and you do carry a lot of speed off the corner. But that seemed like way too much. All of a sudden, Alessio Zuppi there slowed right down as well, so Massimiliano's caught up to him too, so he'll still be in that DRS. And you got Flores ahead of him as well. That must have had some sort of problem as well, because he has backed this pack right up somewhat. Good to see a Gap SRT car back in the field. We haven't seen many of them this season. They were everywhere last season.
Yeah, we got used to seeing about 3 or 4 of them each race, and I almost think this is the first time I've seen any of them in a race this season.
I think it is. Ficarra very, very close now to Wensing. Oh, he wants this place. This is the trouble when you're the second person in the queue. If you can't quite get past the car ahead, you become under a fair amount of threat from behind.
We're just about 10 laps in, so that was 47 laps. Another 12 or 13 laps before we possibly see somebody take a chance in a pit stop, and that'll be really interesting to see somebody coming out of the pits on fresh tires. it's quite obviously gonna gain them a whole load of lap time. But getting past on this track is going to be a different story. So it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys in the top half of the field decide to take that chance.
Yeah, I think a 2 seconds a lap gain might sort of get them. You might have enough speed to actually get by. I wonder if what's the track temperature reading at the moment? I can't quite see that info.
Track temperature is set at about 40 degrees at the moment.
But even though the ambient temperature out there is only 18 degrees, it's still pretty hot with the sun beating right down. So I dare say you're right. I think people will want to do a stop round here because you really are on full attack around here to get the pace out of the car. So I can see people wanting to jump in. They need a window, that's for sure, to get it. Right now, they haven't got that as well. They are pulling away pretty quick from the drivers behind. So when we reach that sort of 20 lap mark, I would think we might see some people try and jump in. They could have a pit stop in hand over sort of like 6th place, 7th place, something like that. That would be, I would think, the time to jump.
So it's just, I think you might have some people just sitting on the fence on whether to do it or not, and they might just wait for somebody else to get in first, get on the fresh side, so they can see exactly what the time gain is. And there are quite a few guys might rely heavily on some spotters or people watching them to give them that information. So we'll have a look, see it about 10 laps time, see what it looks like.
Looks like Forenska in that last lap got past Toffoli, so he's up and into 12th place. He's trying to close down on the back of Augusto right now. He tucked up behind his teammate. They're doing 1:17s at the moment, so actually slightly quicker than Ferenz that last lap. So don't know if that was when the overtake was, quite possibly, probably. But he has been sort of a half a second a lap quicker than that before.
Yeah, we're much more used to seeing Ferenc running a little bit further up the field as well. Didn't have a great start here. It's 3 places down from where he started the race. Started in 9th, and then lap 1 just didn't work out great for him.
Yeah, had a great weekend at Spa last weekend, so I think Zoppi and Massimiliano, they're just very close to each other. Obviously teammates. I can assume that by the liveries are identical, but
yeah, they might want to get some team orders going there. Bartolotto looks like he's racy. He looks like he's got the pace, but maybe.
That's
no need for team orders when that happens. I'm sure Zoppi will get on the forums later on saying he did that on purpose. If Bortolotta can't get a move done on Bishar, then they might do the switch back a little bit later on again.
16.7 for Ferenc that last lap, so closes in a whopping 8/10 of a second that lap on Augusto. So coming at him pretty rate of knots. The only thing that Russell's got to his advantage right now is he's got the DRS of his teammate ahead of him, so it's going to make it very difficult for Ferenc to get by. Not much going on with the leaders. They're close, but nothing's really happening. They're just as they were, so we'll just stay looking at this little battle for the moment.
One thing I noticed as well is because it's a shorter track and shorter lap times. We're gonna with a bigger spread of and abilities that we're seeing in the split today. There's traffic. Traffic might come into play as well. Ricardo just about 2 seconds off the back of the Mario Malone at the moment, so he'll be right up to him by the end of this lap, and and then we've got a couple of back markers, 16th and 17th, only about 17 or 18 seconds up the road. Such
a short lap round here, actually you forget how quickly you can come up to traffic. So these guys obviously had their problems. They're not lapping that slow that they should be that far back already, but yeah, way down, sort of 50 odd seconds behind the leader. So
yeah, I think I saw Malone and corner the left-hander leading onto the back straight. He had a little bit of trouble there with a barrier, and Flores did it, and Dennis Dupuy, second to last corner, gravel trap, spin here and there. They had their troubles as well.
top three are getting a little closer. We'll just stick with these guys at the minute, see if anyone gets a run. It looks like Augusto taking his teammate right now around the outside, so obviously got a little bit more pace, maybe some team orders there. That definitely looked orchestrated to me. Just about closes the door on Ferenz. Oh, Ferenz very close through the hairpin. Slightly different line. Feel I definitely got a bit better drive off of that corner. Still nothing going on with the leaders there as they were, so no need to swap.
Marcelo might have a few issues with his tyres just for the next lap or two at Ferenz corner. He should have this done down the inside.
Yeah, good move. Oh, Macho loses the... well, he hasn't lost the place yet to Domingo. They're still fighting around the outside. He's going to have to go. We'll get better drive off of the corner. Who's that? Around and into the wall.
Oh, that's Ronaldo Augusto. Just getting that place on the start-finish straight at the beginning of the lap, and he's lost about 4 of them. Domingo threw as well on him.
And there's another change of position going on right now as well. That's Zoppi going past Flores there. Flores losing 2 places there to the 2 teammates. They're stinking around down the straight, just trying to find some position. It looks like he lost it coming. Oh no, just a little mistake there from Zoppi. He's going to go. It's going to be around the outside, and I thought he was going to get run off the circuit for a minute. And Flores gets one of those places back after the mistake he made going into the penultimate corner.
All of a sudden, in the last lap or two, we've seen guys coming out of the last corner and then going onto the back straight. All of a sudden, the back end of the cars is starting to go. I think we might see some pit stops sooner rather than later. Just a couple of guys, seems like all of a sudden they're really, really struggling.
Oh, back marker around. No, it wasn't a back marker around. That was our race leader around. Made a mistake. Coming, where is he right now? That was coming out of the chicane. Let's take a quick look at that back. I don't think the leaders are going to exchange position right now. Let's hope not. But Ficari definitely looked close.
Wow. Oh, it was so close. Ficari and Venzing just missing Ricardo there.
Yeah, so just Ricardo just far too aggressive on the gas pedal coming out of there. And he's in a right position. Is he going to lose? Yeah, Zaitsev goes through as well, but it doesn't look like Zoran does. No, Zoran stays behind. Come back to the action on board with Ficara tucked up behind Wensing. These guys have been racing each other on and off through the season. They sort of seem to be mostly on different parts of the track or different strategies all through so far through season 2. But this is the first time we've sort of seen them go, proper at it.
That's something we've seen quite a bit of, people in competition with each other in the standings, but very rarely racing on the same piece of track. Oh, Ficara might get a run here. Advancing, getting all squirrely coming out of the last corner, getting defensive. It might be well past you, and you can make the pass around the outside of the corner here, exactly as Ficara does.
Yeah, Winston he had his nose up the inside a little bit. Ficara has to use a little bit of the runoff area, the gravel, the dirt, whatever you want to call it on the outside. But he gets that move complete. That's him. Yeah, very good driving from both there. Fair bit of respect shown from both drivers as well to leave just enough room for one another.
That's the one thing about this track. It's not my favorite in the world, but turn 1 is absolutely brilliant. If you get a run on someone, the natural thing for the guy going defensive is take the inside line. But yeah, like we just saw, making the move stick around the outside because of the camber that the corner's got is, as if you pull that off, there's a sense of satisfaction that you don't get on many other tracks.
Have a little look further down the standings. Everybody else now starting to separate out apart a little bit. I think that's Wensin ducking in for the pits he is, so he's making that call in pretty early. Lost that place. Maybe wants to see if he can get the undercut here on Ficarra. I'm going to stick with Ficarra and see if he decides to pit in this lap. Got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. This is not what he wants. It will slow him down. Oh, big time on the exit there. Has to get right out of the gas as well. Did not want that at all. That's valuable seconds lost that Wensin's going to be much quicker now on that outlap. So not great at all. Looks like Zoppi closing in. Well, Zoppi came just actually Wensin came just out in front of him there, and just in between Flores as well. So it's started to heat up a little bit, Conrad.
Yeah, I think Wensing was maybe hoping just to get out in front of Flores and Bortolotta, and he's truly caught up in their battle now.
Yeah, this could save Ficarra somewhat because the lap times have been sort of 4 or 5 tenths of a second slower than what they were running up front. So, they're quick, but just not quite quick enough. And fresh tyres are just not going to make that much difference here. These drivers sort of fighting amongst themselves. See that if Bortolotta there, he's going to have a little bit of pressure. Will he decide to... any of these guys decide to pit this time. This is the thing where leader's gone through for lap 20. Wensin running just a little bit wide, trying to carry as much speed. Obviously, we'll have that extra traction, but yeah, no one's able to make a move. This little gaggle is really starting to come together. So it looks like Zoppi made a little mistake. He's got Kern right on him as well. A bit further back, you've got Toffoli as well, and Marcelo starting to have a little battle as well. We'll look at that in a moment if they get a bit closer. Ricardo around again. Our former race leader has a second spin. You and I know, Conrad, that once you have a moment with these tyres, they're never the same again. You can rarely do you keep them underneath you, and they just get worse and worse and worse. And this is a second spin. My honest, if I'm Ricardo right now, I probably would have already pitted, but I certainly will be on the way into the pits now after a second spin.
Yeah, it's like nailing a block of cheese with a hammer. It's never going to get any better. It might taste the same, but it looks on never the same again. Wensing is losing a potload full of time behind this battle of Flores and Bortolotta at the moment. He had a little stab at it. Going into the last corner, he's going to have another one into turn 1. He's past Flores, but that battle's already cost him about 2 seconds. Ficarra can easily pit now and still come out in front of this entire gaggle of cars.
Yeah, I wonder if he will, though. We've seen Ficarra a lot of the time this season try and run that no-stop strategy, throw the curveball. So it doesn't always work for him, but it has done on other times.
And you can just see in Wensing's driving at the moment. There's a certain look of desperation to it. And he knows he's losing time, and he knows he needs to get past. He's going to get the DRS on the back straight. Oh wow, yeah, no, Bortolotta actually getting defensive on him. Like I said, none of these guys are going to be in any mood to do him any favors. If he's gonna get past them, he's going to have to set the move up and make it stick. And again, you don't need to set up anything if the guy in front of you runs wide out of the second to last corner.
Yeah, and he's gone into the pits as well. So Ricardo into the pits this time as well.
Yeah, we've got 3 guys in now. Oh, very slow stop for Bartolotta there, stationed for just over 8 seconds.
Yeah, not sure quite what happened there. That was, yeah, a major one, so... Something's gone on with Ferenc Kern as well, because he's out of this race. I don't know quite what happened there. 31-second pit stop time and then retired. Yeah, I wonder if you can catch that one back.
Oh, the front end had a bit of damage. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, he everything was running smoothly, and then the car in front of him, who was that? That was Zoppi coming into the pits. No, overcooked it coming into the pit lane, hit the barrier. Ferenc Kern was just behind him, and yeah, Ferenc Kern could have avoided that. Tried to make an overtake in the pit lane between the barriers, and yeah, heavy damage to the car.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, we'll leave that one. We'll leave that one off of the broadcast. Both drivers won't want to see that.
That was 2 fails in the space of about 10 seconds. First, Zoppi just absolutely clobbering the barrier coming in, and then I think Kern just got a little bit too excited coming into the pit lane and tried to pass someone where he never really should have.
Marcello past Massimiliano here as well. Use the DRS. Who's that running slow on the inside? Whoever they were very slow.
Oh, Zaitsev into the pits as well. Yeah, see, if I'm Ficarra, I really would pit just for safety's sake. He's got Zaitsev is in the pits, Sabitov is in the pits as well. Fencing is still 27 seconds behind him, so at the very best, he's just going to lose the one place to Jonic, who's already 19 seconds in front of him.
Yeah, everybody else really jumping in. There's just yeah, like you said, Jonic just decided to stay out. He might stay out the whole one, throw that curveball. He just didn't quite have the same pace as some of the other guys, but he's going to be, what is he, 7.5 seconds ahead of Wensin. These guys are going to be a bit further back, so yeah, could be a bit of a curveball strategy out there to try and see if he can get maybe 3rd place, get podium. And as has been picked out as well, Ficarra running 15.9 last lap, so those times are extremely competitive. Wensin was only a 15.5, so only 0.4 of a second lost, or gained, whichever way you're looking at it. That sort of pace is very well and truly safe. It's just what, as we know, it's always those last 5-6 laps where the tyres really start to drop off, that the drivers really struggle, and those fresh tyres sort of come at you. What, 2 seconds a lap normally? I think the last 5 laps.
Vincing putting in the fastest lap of the race on that last lap is 15.5.
Yeah, 5.65.
And you can already see the difference in laps. I don't know if Zoran Jonic had a little issue on his last lap, but he did a 17.3, and that's 1.8 seconds difference to the man behind him, Daniel Vincing.
And we've got Domingo and Zaitsev going at it here as well. They're tucked up behind our former race leader, Ricardo, who's recovering after he's had his pit stop.
Well, Domingo, of course, hasn't been into the pits yet.
Domingo just leaves just enough room, fresh tyres there against ones that are not. And Zaitsev is up the inside and through.
And that just goes to show, we were sort of speculating about how if you pit for fresher tyres, it would be very easy to catch up, and how difficult it would be to pass. I mean, Zaitsev didn't. It's not really a place you expect to pull an overtake.
Massive pit stop for our leader. He's away. That must have been a speeding penalty. 19.3 seconds. So he decides that he is going to pit. but then he absolutely messes it up. How to give away a race victory in one easy step right there. Just overcook your pit entry.
Oh yeah, definitely. He got all out of shape. He was lucky not to hit a barrier coming into the pit lane, and yeah, most definitely he was over the speed limit. Yeah, he didn't really need to push it all that hard. Coming into the pits, he had a comfortable lead over Vincing. Could have taken his time, just come into the pits, get the fresh tires, and I think he probably would have come out of the pits with about 2-second lead.
Yeah, I think you're right, because he was pulling away from Wensing when he was tucked up in, because Wensing was tucked up in traffic, wasn't he? So he had a net gain as it was. So he's what, 8 seconds behind him now? Maybe more than that, maybe about 12. I think when he comes across the line, I think he'll close up to the back of Flores ahead of him here in the Gap SRT car, but going to be sort of a second and a half a lap quicker than him, so that's not an issue. So still going to end up with a good chance of podium. What will be interesting now is whether or not the Yonage is going to try and stick it out. I mean, he's got 20 laps left on these tyres. I mean, he's certainly not going to be able to hold off Wensing, I don't think. Although we'll just see how easy it is to overtake, I guess. There's only 3 seconds separating them on the track right now.
Oh, if Zoran is planning on running all the way to the end, he might not be as giving as some of the other guys have been to let Vincing past. Flores yet to make a pit stop as well, so Ficarra shouldn't have too much trouble getting past him. I think for Vincing now, it's just a question of how much time he's going to lose behind Yonage.
This is what could possibly help Ficarra right now. If Zoran can, just absolutely defend for everything that he's got, even if it's for like 6 laps, that might be the difference for Ficarra and Flores is decided those tyres will not make it at all. Puts in a 15.3 fastest lap of the race. Yeah, very impressive indeed. But yeah, so 10 seconds to catch up on Wensing has Ficarra got. So like I say, 6 laps, 7 laps, something like that, for Wensing to get by Zoran here. Well, that might make it very interesting.
Yeah, and Vincing's already going to drop a few tenths on this lap as he is trying to make his way through some lap traffic as well. Yonage, well, yeah, he's already struggling. 17.6 again on that last lap. Another 1.8 seconds that he dropped to Vincing.
Yeah, I took that last lap very, very slow actually, 17.6 like you say, so that's the worst it's been. I'm not sure if he was negotiating some traffic or something there, but yeah, massively slower, so. I think he's locked in though at this point, it's 19 laps to go. It's makes sense for me to just try and stick it out. I haven't seen him make any mistakes or anything like that. I haven't seen any lockups, I haven't seen any little spins or anything, so he's looked after those tyres, so they should last.
Vincing dropping nearly a second to Ficarra on that last lap. As I said, Vincing had to negotiate some lap traffic. He did a 16.4 compared to Ficarra's 15.5. And I think Ficarra might just be a little bit of anger behind those lap times at the moment as well after that pit stop.
Yeah, good little group starting to come together as well. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. About 4 seconds separate those guys at the moment as well. Just all of them just inside the DRS zone of one another. So yeah, that could be an interesting one to keep an eye on, see how that progresses. It looks like Toffoli's the guy at the front of that as well, who also hasn't pitted, doing 16.8 the last time, so he's going to back this pack right up into each other. Wensing now half a second back. Oh, I swear to watch at the moment.
Yeah, it almost looks like Vensing is gaining most of his time coming through those last 2 corners. Those ones where you expect Janis might just, with the tyre wearing, might just have to lift a little bit to keep the car on the track, whereas Vensing on the fresh rubber just fed down and...
Babatov trying to make a move around the outside of Toffoli. Hasn't managed to pull it off, and he's ended up losing a place to Ricciardo here as well. Ricciardo just saw that opportunity open up and takes it. Thank you very much. Got Zaitsev as well, also trying to put the moves on as well. Well, he's well down in 17th place. Another driver who had a speeding violation going into the pits, 19.2 seconds he spent in there. So that was the reason that he's way back here right now. So easy to do around here.
At it.
Oh! That was close. Just totally different lines there. Ricciardo trying to get the run. I think he's going to he's going to have the outside. Oh, he's cleared him completely actually. So he got much better drive off that corner. Zaitsev and has got Sabatov too. Zaitsev now is going to want to try and get this run through this final corner.
Yeah, Toffoli just taking some very strange lines in the second half of this lap. Is he planning coming in? No, he's gone through. Toffoli with a really slow lap there, 19.3. Obviously the likes of Zaitsev and Sabatov behind him got into a little side-by-side battle. Their lap time's not much quicker.
Dropping his connection and then reappearing again just to give these drivers something else to think about while they're running so close together. Wensin right on our race leader now, Jonic. 0.2. Oh, and Jonic goes. Does he go wide on purpose there? That was a poor angle. I couldn't really tell. Let's take a quick look at that back, because that to me looks like he might have just stepped out of the way.
Oh, I'm not sure that was on purpose. It just looks like his back end got a little bit light coming through the first part of that chicane.
Let's hope this camera angle's better. No, it's the same rubbish one. Oh yeah, you're right, absolutely. Well, Ficara down to 4.5 seconds behind Jonic, so he's closed in a lot. He's carrying a lot of speed, and he caught up behind him very quickly earlier on as well. So it's not over and done with yet, I don't think.
Oh, let's not forget Vensing was in quite early. His laps are about 8 laps older than those of Ficara. But as far as Ficara is concerned, you were talking about Jonic holding up Vensing for about 6 laps to bring Ficara back into this. He just about did it. Oh, and Zaitsev and Sabatov is through on Toffoli as well. Toffoli really struggling now. It's one of those that hasn't pitted. Its last lap time was a 1 minute 20.5.
Just having a look at Flores trying to make his way back up, closing in on the back of Domingo. Late pit stop, of course, for him. Decided that his tyres weren't going to last after all.
I suppose this is the thing we see if Flores already running a little bit deep into that chicane. I wonder, this is the thing, how many people actually go through a week and do a proper race run before they get to the official series and these splits on a Sunday race? How many times through the season have we seen where people realize too late that they do need to make a pit stop and lose copious amounts of time by doing so?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've called it all season long, haven't we? Saying, roughly when the ideal time is, and most drivers seem to be there. But I think a lot of these drivers think they want to go for a no stop, but the track temperature is just a little bit too hot. Side by side, Ficarra and Zoran really didn't defend that at all. Just moved over and let his Apex Academy teammate roll on by. Not a bad little advert for us, actually, is it today, Conrad? This one, because of course Daniel Winston is a Apex Racing Academy 2.0 member as well.
Yeah, I mean, it bodes well. It's a bit of advertising going on. But yeah, I mean, maybe Zoran is nearly into the 118s now, and he's got a 14-odd second gap over Ricardo behind him. So you might just be thinking, the podium is on with 14 laps to go, and instead of fighting as Mario Malone gets nice and sideways in turn one, just let Ficarra through and try and get some consistency going and working on keeping that podium spot.
It was 1.9 seconds that he lost that lap, so at this rate it's only going to take 7 laps to close that gap up. So that leaves him 7 laps to try and defend. So
I already showed that just by driving his proper, driving his lines and hitting his marks, that you can keep a faster driver behind you, as he showed with Vincent. I wouldn't put it past him, putting up a good fight, good defensive display at least for the podium.
And the pop-up graphic as well there, because that showed that Winston put the fastest lap of the race, but it wasn't. It was actually Ficarra who put in the first sub 15 second lap time with a 1:14.949. So he is pushing out there right now and coming at Winston at some 0.6 of a second as well.
Yeah, that gap only down to 3.6 seconds. Again, at that rate, we might be in for a bit of a treat with the last 3 or 4 laps.
Thank you, Julio. Good to see you back in and taking part as well. One of the comments just on the Facebook chat right there. Looking at Barlotta right now as well, closing in the back of Domingo. Pit stop versus no stops. Looking at the lap times, this one's going to be fairly straightforward as well. So I think I am surprised that once the tyres have gone off, the drivers really haven't been able to keep them behind. So fresh rubber really does make all the difference. And once again, just a slam dunk overtake there, nothing whatsoever Domingo can do. Just hasn't got the traction coming out of the fast S's section there.
I wonder when iRacing eventually introduces a second compound tire, which as I understand will be the hard compound. They don't go through that rule where you have to use both compounds in a race. It'll be interesting to see what the difference in the compounds is, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more of these guys that'll go for the nose stopper. Should they only have to use one compound tire in a race?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I mean, they need to hurry up and arrive, certainly, because personally I think it's holding back the F1 series, that element of strategy and things like that we want to see. I have to say I wouldn't be too impressed if it was the hard tyre. We've basically got a hard tyre right now. I mean, look at how many laps they've done around here, some of them, so let's have a red super soft or something like that. We can get about 15 laps off around this circuit or something like that. Now that would make quite a difference. Have it a second a lap faster than the other tyre, really opens up sort of strategy calls then. So
yeah, I mean, it could possibly even introduce, if you have a softer tyre like that gives you that much advantage. Might even start seeing two-stop strategies.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
For that matter. Now, if somebody knows that they can come in, get a fresh set of tires, and really nail it until the end of the race.
Yeah, you can imagine a fresh set of them against a worn-out version of the yellow softs that are, sort of 2.5 seconds a lap slower. You're going to come at them pretty quickly. Could be, it could be a lot of fun.
Oh wow! Oh, big crash at the back. I'm not sure. It's a right-hander just before you come onto the back straight.
Between the S's, just having a look at it now. Massimiliano Barolotto, it looks like. Let's take a quick look. Was anybody else involved in that? I thought I saw another car. It looks like we'll stay with this as well because Marcelo closed into the back of him. Let's have a look. Was it just self-spin? It was just self-spin.
Yeah, and then he just reversed back.
Oh dear, yep. Unfortunately, I know it's every driver's immediate reaction, isn't it, to try and get themselves going back, but they always forget about the traffic, you know. It's and when you're the driver coming through, there's nothing more frustrating than that right now. Wensing got showing some front wing damage as well on his car, but I've seen that already this week, and I think it's just a graphical glitch.
Yeah, it was just the slightest of moves as well. If you're a driver coming around that corner, like you said, it's just that a little movement that you pick up that breaks your concentration and puts you off and makes you pick a direction. Yeah, it didn't.
Fortunately, drove onto the natural racing line as well. You know, always try and turn yourself around. You know, off the racing line if you can. That's tends to be the safest way. But for an example, if you do that in the World Championship, well, yeah, there's a drive-through penalty in that for you from this steward straight away. No questions asked. Gets applied to the next race as well, so it does way more damage. You have to take that in the first 3 laps of the race, so you can almost kiss goodbye to a race. So any of those drivers looking to get themselves up there, that sort of stuff is an absolute no-no.
Oh, we've got Flores Bisharas through on Toffoli as well. He's up into 7th place. Zoran Jonic, that battle that you were talking about, has come along a little bit sooner. Ricardo is through on Jonic. It's going to come under a lot of pressure pretty soon from Zaitsev and Sabatov as well.
Yeah, Jonic is doing 18s now. Those tyres have just fallen apart. Yeah, nothing left of them whatsoever.
Zaitsev is through as well.
Yeah, Sabatov's going to close in on him and get past him. And if he's not careful, I tell you, Flores is going to close in and get by, and that will actually make him have a net loss overall. Front battle closing in as well. 0.6 of a second separate those. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Please don't hit each other, fellas.
Oh, sorry, Zaitsev and his friend there, Ricardo.
Around the outside. Oh, that's good through there. Used the camber of the corner. Got great exit out of there. Used that ERS. Pushed a pass. You could just see he was able to pull away. It didn't look like Ricardo was on that at that particular point. Just didn't have the drive off of the corner. And Zaitsev up into 3rd place.
And that's a great recovery for him after the pit stop that he had. Yeah, taking tyres, serving a penalty, starting in 4th place. It's actually 1 spot up from where he started the race.
And I'm talking of drivers recovering from a penalty as well. Ficarra right now 0.3 of a second behind Wensing, so that's 15 seconds deficit from his penalty effectively that he's had there. He's managed to catch back up with 7 laps to go. Both drivers have pitted though, so it's not going to be a slam dunk like we've seen on some of these other overtakes. So yeah, let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, it's only about 8 laps difference in lifetime between the two of them. Sabatov going through on Jonic as well. Front runners just negotiating Flores the bit. He was having some issues in the S's. Ricardo is driving like it looks like he's a man on a mission at the moment. think he'll have a combination of sort of satisfaction. He's going to get the DRS. He might have the run into turn 1.
Wenson just shuts that door. Oh, there's a little tap from each other there, B. Oh, I don't like that.
And just for good measure, the back marker comes back through again. So Vincent's going to have to negotiate that again. Flores de Vid leaving the door open.
It was a late defensive move from Daniel, but I think once there was contact made, I honestly think Ficarra should have just gone, all right, I'll give you it back. We'll have another go at this in a moment. Do you know what I mean? That would have been the right thing to do, the sportsmanship thing to do. Come on, one of Ficarra's teammates who's on his team speak or whatever, talk to him, tell him to let him back through. Let's have this race go on again. You've got 20 seconds to Zaitsev behind you. Let's do this properly.
Yeah, that will be the right thing to do, the sporting thing to do as well. Yeah, I remember when we used to run the old console leagues. That was one of the big rules. If you hit someone, cause them to spin, something like that, you have to give the players back. And I think that's something we've sort of an idea and an unwritten rule we've carried through in our racing through the years from there as well.
Yeah, it works so well as a rule, and things like that. You know, it's the immediate thing, isn't it? It's just like that's just a simple thing to sort out, and stops any sort of post-race shenanigans as well, doesn't it? So you're like, yep, my bad, sorry, there you go, have it and go, you know, and let's do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows a lot on track as well. I mean, if somebody taps you and lets you back through again after it, it's a sort of a show of an apology, saying, listen, I made a mistake. Have the place back and we'll have another go at it. And I'll try not to hit you again.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you do it again, well... then you
just stay where you are, mate.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so Ficarra definitely got the pedal to the metal. I mean, he was quicker, I'm not going to take that away. May well have got by. Was the defensive move a bit late? I don't think so. I think he had every right to turn in there, so yeah, tricky one. Having a look a bit further down, see what's going on. Marcello closing in on the back of Barolotta here. This will be for 9th position if he can get there last lap. Well, they were a similar sort of pace last lap, but that gap seems to have come down quite a bit.
I think that a half spin that Venting had through that contact just cooked his tires a little bit as well. His last lap was 16.1 compared to Ficarra's 15.6, so half a second difference there. You also mentioned earlier on that if Janis doesn't look well, watch out. He's going to come under pressure from Flores Bashar in the latter stages of this race. That gap is just over 6 seconds at the moment, just under, thereabouts, and goes the way it's going. We might have a little battle on our hands by the last lap.
Yeah, absolutely, 2 seconds a lap, so an 18.5 versus 16.4, so. I think Zoran is just doing well to hold on to the car, to be honest. Keep it pointing forward, keep it working. It's very easy. Could it could he lose this right now? So
frankly, I'm amazed he's still doing 1 minute 18s.
Who else is out there as well? Toffoli is as well. He's doing the same. Domingo, no, he's not. He has pitted now.
Only other guy not to have pitted so far is Alexandru Mucanu. He's running in 12th place.
In the 118s as well, so seems to be like that's the window where the tyres drop off. Look at those lap times as well, 16.2 versus 18.9, so yeah, even more of a gap closed down there. 4.1 seconds we're looking at right now. I think he'll have, I think Forrest will have 2 laps at this, to be honest.
Flores can catch up to Zoran here and pass him. That would be a great result for him. Flores, the number 11 car in the race, and top 6 for him. That would be a great result.
Yeah, just see him in shot now as well when we go on board. So closing in 3.3 seconds, the lead gap 2.2 seconds. Nothing's going on there. Everybody else pretty separated apart from Marcello, who's still sat that sort of 0.6 of a second back from Massimiliano, but can't seem to get any closer. Leader's gone through with 2 laps to go.
Flores just having a little bit of trouble coming through the chicane. Another little wiggle into turn 1. Gap didn't close up by that much, only 1.2 seconds on that last lap. And for someone like Zoran, it's the worst thing. And I've had it around this track as well. Is when somebody starts closing in on you and you start watching that relative. With the track where it's so twisty and so busy, it just compounds the problem, and you lose more time than you really have to.
Sabatov close to Ricardo here as well. Last few laps has really been putting a bit of pressure on him, so 0.6 of a second quicker. Not sure he's going to be close enough for a move this time as well. It's not many places on this circuit you're going to get another shot before the start-finish line, so going to get very, very close. That may be all it is. Oh, mistake from Massimiliano. Just poor line, perhaps. Has closed. Oh well, actually, Marcello's already through and gone. This is Augusto trying to make a move using the DRS. Oh, very tight line through the chicane. Doesn't get it. We'll get a better exit off of the chicane. Oh, this is going to be close. Something's going on somewhere.
Marcello going through on that Toffoli. Through the last corner, Toffoli just running a little bit wide, but we're going to have Picara coming around the last corner to take the win.
Oh, there we are. Picara has a little weave. I'm sure Daniel's going to have a little word with him coming the end of that race. 1-2 for those guys. Zaitsev will come through in 3rd. Ricardo will come across in 4th place as well, with Sabatov just behind him. Just not going to get a run. No mistake to that final corner from Ricardo, so holds on to that. Great drive from Flores in 6th, and you know what? I take my hat off to Zoran, because he went with that strategy. He tried the curveball. The tyres just didn't hold together. In the end, he lost probably more than what he gained. But I need to jump back. We're looking at this is 10th and 11th. This is Augusto and Toffoli. Toffoli just hasn't got the grip.
Neither does Augusto. He just dropped it in the first part of the chicane and into the barrier.
We're on a super close angle there, and I couldn't see the other car. Oh well, that one's that one. That's that then.
Yeah, it was on until we decided to look at it, and then Ronaldo decided, barriers might have looked a little bit grey to him, and decided to put some red paint on there.
Take us through those final results then, please, if you would, Conrad.
Oh, it was a great race. I think it offered up a lot more than we expected, but we've got Massimiliano Ficara taking the win just in front of Daniel Vensing, Vaitsili Zaitsev in 3rd place, Ricardo Ozoko in 4th, with Rozan Sabatov in 5th, Flores Bashar in 6th place, Zoran Jonic not quite able to make the zero stopper work. He comes in 7th. Then we've got Marcello in 8th, Kliber Toffoli in 9th place, Massimiliano Bartolotta in 10th place, Ronaldo Augusto in 11th. We've got Alexandru Mocanu in 12th place, Manuel Domingo in 13th, Floris de Wit in 14th place, McMario Malone in 15th, Dennis Dupuy in 16th place, and then we had the 2 retirements of Alicia Zoppi and Franz Kern.
Yeah, great race. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm not sure what that's going to do as far as the championship standings go. Probably very, very little, I would think. Could still be 200 points. It's over 3k rating, and it's SOF 190, 200 maybe. Not sure. Might be good for Ficara. Probably going to be the only one. Probably not going to be any better for Wensin. We'll have to wait and see. But next week, same. I think we might be back to the 12 GMT time slot. There's no Formula 1 next week, is there?
Yeah, I think the next round in the real life Formula 1's around Montreal, if I'm not mistaken, so that'll be in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. But next week's race actually is at Montreal as well for the Grand Prix Series, so that should be a lot of fun. Those walls very, very close, and just from the testing that I've had, should be interesting on fuel, I think. So, 66% race distance, and I think they're going to need all 66 kilos. We saw a few close last season when it was 68% fuel they were allowed. Obviously, it was dropped down for this season, so should be interesting indeed.
Right, well, I've managed to pull up the results for this race. Ficara managed to pull in 181 points.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be an improvement for him.
Vincing getting 170. I think you're right. And that's normally something we see in the last 4 weeks. We've knocked the selection of the track a little bit, but we normally see a drop off in participation across all series when we start getting into weeks 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
I'll just see if my standings is. It'll be difficult to say whether it's updated or not because we're not expecting much change in the standings.
If it has, it hasn't changed anything at all, as far as I can tell. Even Zoran's way down there are still not updated his points, so I don't think the points have updated yet. Oh, well, we'll call it a day and wrap it up. Thank you very much for everybody who's tuned in. Like I say, we'll be back later on for next week. Sorry, for the final round of the season. That's at Montreal. Up tonight, we've got the finale of the Kia Club Series as well. So yeah, tune into that this afternoon or late this evening. I think that's also on iRacing Live as well. Championship is still wide open in that one, so it should be a fun event. 3 races, I believe it is tonight. Reverse grids and all that goodness. So close touring car action, knocking each other, all over the place. So always worth a laugh and worth a watch. But thank you, Conrad, again for joining me here at Zandvoort. Interesting race that we've had, and yeah, actually, I tell you what, the strategies really made it far more exciting than what I was expecting, and I hope people actually see that and think, actually, this is a good circuit to do, and pick the right strategy, and you can have a good race.
Yeah, it certainly offered up a lot more than I was expecting, like I said, and it gives us a nice amount of hope for Montreal next week. I'm not sure what it's like in the Formula 1 car, but between the Lotus 79 and the Formula Renault, I know that the grip comes at a premium around Montreal, so it should be interesting along with how tight it is on field.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, guys, thanks very much. We'll be back next week, but stay tuned for the Kia race later on tonight. See you then.